I tried, I really did, to keep my distance, to stay loyal to the woman who had been my closest friend for more than half my life. But when his hand brushed against my waist that night, when his lips hovered inches from mine, whispering my name like it was a secret only he could carry, every wall I had built around myself crumbled into dust. He wasn't mine to love, but he held me like I was the only woman who had ever mattered. And in that moment, I wanted nothing else but his hands, his breath, his warmth. He kissed me. Not clumsy, not confused, but like he had been starving for it. And the worst part? I kissed him back. His name was Daniel. And he belonged to someone else. To Rebecca, my best friend since we were teenagers. For over 20 years, Rebecca and I had survived everything together. Her battles with infertility, my divorce that shattered me, her constant need to reinvent herself, my endless search for something solid to hold on to. She was more than my friend. She was my family. I helped her choose the pale pink dress she wore on her wedding day. I stood beside her when she promised Daniel forever. And I believed in their forever. But somewhere along the years, her forever started breaking. Rebecca drifted. She disappeared into business trips that never quite made sense. She left Daniel behind piece by piece, until their marriage looked like a hollowed-out shell. So maybe that's why I showed up at Daniel's door that night. To check in. To do what I thought was the right thing. I brought food. Soup and bread, the comfort kind Rebecca always turned her nose up at. Daniel opened the door still in his work shirt, sleeves rolled, looking tired in a way I hadn't seen before. "You didn't have to," he said, his voice rough. "I wanted to," I replied. That evening we didn't talk about Rebecca. Instead, we talked about the traffic, about the leaky faucet he still hadn't fixed, about nothing. But under every word was a silence we both knew how to read. The second night, I came again. This time with wine. The house was dim, the rain steady outside. I kicked off my shoes, he opened the bottle, and laughter came easier. And then, just after midnight, in his kitchen, it happened. I reached for the bottle of wine. His hand reached too. Our fingers touched, and neither of us pulled away. His eyes locked on mine, searching, almost pleading. My throat tightened, but I didn't move. He didn't either. And in that silence, something shifted. I left soon after, my heart pounding in my chest like it hadn't in years. Tell me, if someone looked at you like you were their only salvation, would you be strong enough to walk away? Like this video if you've ever felt the weight of temptation pressing against your resolve. And don't forget to subscribe, because this story is only just beginning. For 2 nights, I tried to convince myself it meant nothing. That his touch was accidental. That I was imagining it. But on the 3rd day, I found myself at his doorstep again, using Rebecca's forgotten scarf as my excuse. The storm outside had cut the power. Daniel answered the door holding a flashlight. "Come in," he said softly, and I did. We lit candles, their glow throwing shadows on the walls. We laughed when the wind blew one out. I teased him about being afraid of the dark. He smiled, not with his mouth, but with his eyes. We sat on the couch, a blanket across our laps. Lightning cracked, I flinched, and instinctively, his arm went around me. I froze, not from fear, but from how right it felt. When I looked up, he was already watching me. Not as Rebecca's husband. Not as my friend. But as a man who had finally been seen after years of being invisible. He touched my arm, his fingers tracing slowly upward, hesitant but certain. And when his forehead rested against mine, the room spun with a quiet kind of chaos I couldn't name. I left soon after. But the storm outside was nothing compared to the one building inside me. Have you ever felt undone by someone who never even kissed you? If this moment made your chest ache, just imagine what the next night held. Like this video if you've ever carried a secret you couldn't share, and subscribe to see how far this love goes. I avoided him for a week. Ignored his calls. Told myself distance would save me. But my heart wouldn't listen. Finally, I went back, scarf in hand, ready to say goodbye. I told him I couldn't keep visiting. That it was a mistake. He stood in the doorway, arms crossed, not angry, just quiet. "Lydia," he said, his voice low. "Why do I feel like you're the only person who really sees me?" I shook my head. "You're my best friend's husband." "And yet," he whispered, his eyes never leaving mine. And then, without words, without warning, he kissed me. Soft at first. Careful. But when I kissed him back, years of restraint melted into that moment. We didn't rush upstairs. We just lay down fully clothed, his arm holding me steady, my hand pressed against his chest. For the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't carrying the weight of the world alone. Tell me, do you believe the most dangerous love stories are the ones that start in silence? Like this video if you've ever held back feelings you weren't supposed to have. Share it if you know someone who understands. And subscribe, because this story is only going deeper. The next time I came, I didn't lie to myself. It wasn't about the scarf or the food. It was about him. About the way his presence made the air feel alive again. He kissed me slowly, reverently. His hands traced me like he was memorizing every line, every scar, every hidden part of me. I cried, not from shame, but from being seen in a way no one had ever dared before. That night, we didn't just touch. We unraveled. And I realized it wasn't lust. It was recognition. Two lonely souls colliding where they were never meant to meet. When morning came, sunlight poured across the bed. I opened my eyes and found him watching me, not with hunger, not with regret, but with awe. "You were never just her friend to me," he whispered. I should have asked, "What now? What happens if Rebecca comes back?" But I didn't. Instead, I touched his face and simply breathed. Because I knew, whatever came after, we couldn't go back. Have you ever woken up in someone's arms and felt both terrified and alive at the same time? If this story pulled at something deep inside you, please like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who believes love doesn't always follow the rules. And I want to hear from you. Do you think forbidden love is ever worth the risk? Or does it always end in heartbreak? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one.